I've had this problem.
Big problem.
I really need it.
Elite Barbarian Deck Coach.
And I kept searching.
And searching.
There are so many choices.
It's really hard to find one that has all the things on my list.
But I finally did it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
If you were looking for one as well,
Look no further.
Here's a really good one.
Just use mine.
Use mine.
I'm very satisfied.
Definitely recommend.
Problem gone.
thank you.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. And guys, there have been a lot of changes to the 16 legendary cards. I can't believe there are 16 legendaries right now in the game. I remember back in the day where the Princess and the Ice Wizard were introduced to the game. Do any of you guys remember when those legendaries were added to the game and it was like, whoa, new rarity, legendary, and since then they've added 14 more cards. Today we're going to rank them because there has been a lot of changes both in terms of buffs and a few legendaries that I think need a little bit of love, need a little bit of maybe a rework or a buff. We'll talk about all that and more in today's video. Let's go ahead and start the list off with number 16. So the worst legendary card, in the opinion of yours truly, is the Night Witch. Now, let me just go out and say that Night Witch is actually one of my personal favorite legendary cards. I love the card. I just think that her success is so directly tied to only Golem decks, right? If Golem is good, then Night Witch is good inside that one deck. I would like to see maybe a rework or a buff to Night Witch that makes her viable in different decks, not just heavy beatdown. I think that she's too one-dimensional, and let me just go ahead and say it, guys. Every legendary card is viable. Every single one. So this is not an indictment on Night Witch, but I do think that she needs a little bit more love than the other legendary cards. That's why she comes in at number 16. Coming in at number 15 is the Lava Hound. I think the Lava Hound is, of course, a great win condition. It is really one of the only air archetypes in the game. I guess Balloon Cycle being the other one. But Lava Hound is a very important archetype, but I think it's struggling right now. Just ask Bochum, who will tell you, be the first to tell you that Lava Hound is really at the worst spot that it's ever been in the game. That's not to say that you can't have success with Lava Hound, or Lava Hound without the balloon right now is actually better than Lava Loon in a lot of players' minds, but compared to the rest of the legendary cards, I do think that Lava Hound needs a small buff to push it back up into meta viability in the game. That's why the Lava Hound comes in at number 15. Moving on to 14, we have the newest card in the game, the Ram Rider. Now, Ram Rider is a really cool card. Personally, I was a big fan of kind of the innovation that they added to the game with the introduction of the Ram Rider. I like the snare effect, but it's a little bit too long. But Ash, you ranked it like at the bottom of the list. Why is it too long? Why do you want a lesser snare? I think that it needs maybe a 1-second snare instead of a 2-second snare effect, because the snare effect can just kind of be, I don't know, a little bit annoying and more than powerful. And then I want to see a stat increase on the HP and the damage a little bit on the Ram Rider. So it's a little bit of a give and a take, but I think it will make the card more viable. It's not a bad card. Again, none of these legendary cards are bad. I just think the Ram Rider needs a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of a rework to really make it, meta. Number 13 on the legendary list is going to be the Inferno Dragon. How the mighty have fallen. I previously ranked Inferno Dragon in the top 5. Maybe not my last legendary ranking, but the one before that, earlier in 2018, excuse me. What year are we in right now? Inferno Dragon really took a big hit when the Electro Dragon entered into the arena. Obviously a hard counter to the Inferno Dragon, and that adds to the list of counters to the Inferno Dragon. Obviously Zap, and now Snowball can reset the Inferno Dragon. Fireball can reset the Inferno Dragon. Zappies, E-Wiz, Zap, Lightning. I could go on and on and on here. It's not that Inferno Dragon is a bad card, and it fits very well into a lot of different decks. A lot of cycle decks use Inferno Dragon, such as the Rainbow Hog deck and the Pompeo Balloon deck, but that's not to say it's at the best space it's ever been in the game. That's why the Inferno Dragon comes in number 13 on our list. Alright, so number 12 is going to be the highest that I have ever ranked Sparky on the list. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, Sparky's actually good now, Ash. Well, that's the point. This is the highest I've ever ranked her on the list. I'm going to temper my expectations, but it looks to be that range, that secret range buff all the way to 5, not 4.75 tiles, is actually going to be the key to victory in a lot of situations with Sparky. Sparky appears to actually be meta. Again, or maybe for the first time. Either way, Sparky is actually a force to be reckoned with alongside the Giant or the Giant Goblin. In fact, I'll be sharing a lot of good Sparky decks this meta, so be sure to turn on your notifications and your bell to the channel. But yeah, I do think that Sparky is actually close to being meta for the first time, so I am ranking her pretty high on the list, but again, I don't want to overreact because as you guys know, the meta and the players have a tendency to adjust and to shift their play style in response to whatever's trending this week. So at the risk of overreacting, I will improve her in the rankings, but let's not get too carried away just yet. That's why I think 12 is a good spot for Sparky. Alright, so now we're getting into really tricky territory. Really, in my opinion, 4 to 11 on this list. I changed the order so many times. I did a deep dive into the stats, the use, the win rates of all these cards, and I just could not decide on a lot of these. So I'm actually going to pull my first surprise maybe of the video to a lot of you guys and rank the Ice Wizard at number 11. Now again, I think that it's still a top maybe 20 card in the game. That goes to show you the strength of all the other legendary cards in the game, and Ice Wizard is a great card for only 3 elixir. However, I think the days of Ice Wizard NATO Tombstone are a little bit behind us. Not to say that it's a successful OP combo, but a lot of the strength in the Ice Wiz was tied up in that 3-card combo, which has since kind of shifted the meta away from that. So I think that the Ice Wiz is a really good card, but because of the meta shift, I think that the other legendaries have just maybe a little bit of a hair more potential in terms of their strength inside the current meta. That's why Ice Wiz, with no disrespect, is going to be at number 11 here on our list. At number 10, jumping into an arena near you, is the Mega Knight. The Mega Knight seems to actually be viable in meta again, as with all the cards that we're going to talk about from here on out. Mega Knight, with the most recent buff to him, or not last balance change, but the one before that, seems to have entered the arena again and appeared in more and more decks. I shared a Mega Knight bridge spam deck, Mega Knight against Royal Hogs, which are making kind of a comeback, and against all the swarm in the game right now, Mega Knight can certainly prove useful. The reason Mega Knight is not higher on the list is because P.E.K.K.A. is still very popular, and P.E.K.K.A. is definitely a hard counter to Mega Knight. So Mega Knight, I think, is a safe at number 10 on our list. Rolling into the arena. Okay, I'll stop the cheesy, corny intro jokes. The Log is going to be number 9 on our list. I think the Log is an amazing card. You could really probably make a case that the Log is the best legendary card, and I would love to hear if you guys agree with that in the comments below. But the problem with the Log is really 2 words, the Barbarian Barrel, even with the minuscule nerf to the Barbarian Barrel, like what, the 0.15 second nerf to the spawn time of the Barbarian? Is that even noticeable? I don't think the human eye can even detect a 0.15 second difference in the spawn rate of the Barbarian. But either way, guys, Barbarian Barrel just provides a lot of the same uses that the Log did or does, and in some cases it's better. Now in some cases, in other cases, the Log is better. So there is a little bit of difference between the 2 cards, but there's no doubt about it. In ladder, in grand challenges, in tournaments, the Barbarian Barrel has much higher use and win rates, almost double than the Log right now. So because of that, I'm gonna have to put the Log at number 9 on our list. But again, it's a great card and really the one of 2 legendary spells, right? Graveyard and Log, I think so. So it's an important card, but I'm gonna rank it right in the middle of this ranking video. Let's move on to the next card. So number 8 is Princess, and a lot of you guys have gotten on me on previous legendary ranking videos about me putting the Princess, well, a little bit too low. Ash, why are you showing no love to the best legendary in the game, the Princess? And the truth of the matter is kind of like Night Witch, I really associate that Princess to basically 2 decks, to bait decks, to log bait decks, and to the Hog Princess deck, and that's about it. And because of that lack of kind of versatility, which is odd considering she's such an effective, good 3 elixir card, but because she only really finds herself in 2 meta decks throughout basically the history of the card, I feel that kind of limits her cap, her potential, and that's why I am reluctant to rank her higher on these lists. But nevertheless, she's still an amazing card and a very unique card. So the Princess comes in, again, right in the middle of this list at number 8. Number 7 is one of my favorite cards. A lot of my longtime viewers will know where I'm going here. It is the Royal Ghost. I stand by it. There's a lot of Royal Ghost haters over there in the comments, but the truth of the matter is he has invisibility, he has splash damage, he has a decent amount of hit points, he has a pretty heavy blow when he gets to the tower or when he gets to an opposing troop. So I think that Royal Ghost is just absolutely the epitome of value in 3 elixir. He does it all. He can be annoying with the invisibility, getting to the tower, even when he only has like a sliver, 1% of health left. He'll still take 300 HP off of that tower. He is a force to be reckoned with. That's why I make a strong case for the Royal Ghost, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 7 on our list. Coming in at number 6, he is back. That's right, it's the Magic Archer. Magic Archer feels like the Magic Archer again. He feels like a legendary card again. I just did a video with OP Sam, and he said that he thinks he's going to be meta and viable just like he used to be. Even though they didn't reinstitute the entire nerf, they didn't reverse the entire nerf, I should say, that they added a couple months ago inside the game. I think it blindsided a lot of people that they took such a heavy-handed hit to the Magic Archer. I'm happy that he is back in the game again. Nothing is more rewarding than when you get on the Princess Tower with the Magic Archer, with that perfect angle shot. Sometimes, you know, you didn't even mean to do it, but, you know, you fake like you did. You're like, yeah, I meant to do that. Geometry. And, yeah, I just love the Magic Archer. I think it's one of the coolest legendary cards in the game. I like his unique kind of, the fact that he can die by fireball, but the fact that he can be incredibly powerful when played not behind the King Tower. He can be most effective when played in front of the King Tower, and sometimes even in the middle at the river in a bunch of decks. So because of that, I'm a big fan of the card. That's why he comes in the top 6. Moving into the top 5 of the list, guys. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the Lumberjack. Now, Lumberjack, you could probably make a case that he belongs in the top 1, 2, or 3 of this list. He's a very, very powerful card. That rage ability, and man, his swing speed, I'm sure we've all been there, right? Have you ever, like, seen a Lumberjack? Maybe he's at, like, 2/3 health coming down your lane, and you're like, yeah, no big deal. Just, like, let the tower finish him off. I can afford to take a little bit of damage. I'd rather keep my elixir. And then the dude's just, like, just chopping away at your tower. You look down, you were at 2,000 HP, and now you're at 400 because a Lumberjack swings incredibly fast and does a lot of damage. Not just that, but he's great on offense with these balloon freeze decks. He's great on defense, even against a graveyard. He's pretty good. You know, a little Easter egg to the next card on the list. And I think that Lumberjack is just meta right now in a bunch of different decks. He's a cool, original, and unique card, and that's why, and he's powerful, right? And that's why he comes in at number 5 on the list.
Graveyard, here it comes, Graveyard!
Number 4, you guessed it. How'd you know? It's Graveyard. I think the Graveyard's actually in a really great spot, and it's because of the OP Freeze, at least in my opinion. Now that Freeze does damage, ergo killing bats and skeletons and doing damage to goblins and minions, allowing you to zap on top of it, it really added a huge indirect buff to the Graveyard. I think the Graveyard, either in the form of Cycle or Splash Yard or even heavier Graveyard decks, are actually really strong right now. You can make a case Graveyard even belongs higher on the list, I think, but for now we're going to put him at number 4. Or him. Does Graveyard have a gender? I guess that all the skeletons are male at the end of the day. Quick gender check before we go into the top 3 here. We got Lava Hound. She's definitely a female. I don't care what you guys say. She has pups in her belly. She's a female, okay? Because Sparky, she's obviously a female. You can tell just by looking at her. And then, what else do we have? Night Witch. So that's 3 females. Inferno Dragon, I think he's a guy. I think he's a boy. A man? A princess, okay. Royal Ghost is a dude. Magic Archer, Lumberjack, Graveyard, Electro Bandit. Okay, all right. So we get an idea of the gender now of our cards. Let's move in to the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is the highest I have ranked Electro Wizard in quite a while, maybe ever on these lists. Maybe you have to go back to like a year and a half ago to find him in top 3. But I do think that the E-Wiz is a very versatile and strong card. Kind of like unlike the Night Witch and the Princess, E-Wiz actually does fit in a lot of different decks. He's a beautiful counter to a lot of annoying cards like Balloon and like Hog Rider, and he even does really, really well against tanks, just kind of stopping them and buying you time and stopping the charge of the Battle Ram, of the Prince, 2 cards that are everywhere right now in the meta. So because of all those reasons, I think it's safe to say that the E-Wiz is a very, very strong card and belongs in the top 3 of our list. Alright guys, I'm gonna shock the world for the first time in a long time on these legendary ranking videos. I'm not going to put the Miner as number 1. I'm gonna put the Miner as number 2. Whoa! How the mighty have fallen! Now, in all sincerity, guys, I think that the Miner is still one of the coolest cards ever added to the game, but of course, it's becoming less and less sexy as time goes by and by and by in the game. But I do think that the Miner, he's great. I mean, he can be used as a win condition in Miner Cycle. I've said this all before in other videos, but he can also be used as a second win condition or as a way to attack elixir pumps or a way to attack and kind of snipe support troops. Like, for example, if you have a giant going down the lane, you can send in the Miner on that E-Wiz or on that Musketeer and then kind of clear up the way for the giant to get to the tower. Miner is just so versatile and so strong. For 3 elixir again, it has a unique, one-of-a-kind ability in the game, and that's why I don't think he can ever be replaced. I don't think that the Miner, maybe Goblin Drill, right? I'm just joking. I don't think Goblin Drill is coming to the game, but I do think that Miner is just so powerful, and for that reason, he is at number 2 on our list. So that only leaves 1 card left on the list, guys. It is the Bandit. I am a huge fan of the Bandit. I think she is the unsung hero of the meta. A lot of you guys might be surprised that I ranked the Bandit this high. Maybe some of you aren't. Maybe you agree with me that Bandit is this strong inside the game. Now, does she need a nerf? Let's just throw that on the table right away. Does she need a nerf? I mean, I'm ranking her at number 1 of all legendary cards after all. And the answer is maybe. But I don't want to see it. You ever have a card like that where you think is super strong, kind of like me, personally, 3 Musketeers, right? Like, nah, I'm against the nerf, but for selfish reasons. And that's how I feel about the Bandit. I think that just the fact that her dash is so difficult to stop. You have to be very, very quick with it. Even if she's in the pocket, you need to get that timing down. And she's just the ultimate pressure card. She does so much damage when she lands a hit. And because of her invincibility when she's in her dash, you can actually use her in unorthodox ways, such as against a charging Prince, just to bide you some more time and put down those other units to help you out with the card. I think the Bandit's just so versatile. She belongs in, she has a home, I should say, in so many different decks. You can even use her in a Golem deck, in a Bridge Spam deck, and a 3 Musketeer deck, and a Cycle deck. I feel like she is incredibly versatile and incredibly strong inside the game. Again, all for the low cost of 3 elixir. If you guys have not upgraded your Bandit or spent much time playing with your Bandit, I implore you to give a try. No time has been better to run Bandit in your deck. Even if you're running kind of a different deck, think about adding her in there. She's super strong. I don't think you'll regret it. So guys, do you agree or you disagree with my list? Let me know and follow me on social media. Clash_with_Ash on Instagram and at CWA, it's that easy, on Twitter. And of course, Clash with Ash Official on Facebook, where I stream 6 days a week Clash tournaments in Clash Royale. So guys, thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to read your comments. I always read and respond to comments after the first hour of these uploads, so look forward to hearing from you guys down there. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. He's doing giveaways now every day, I saw on Twitter for the last few days at least, so go ahead and get involved in that. And last but not least, thank you Stats Royale for providing the win and use rates of all the cards that I mentioned here today when I was kind of aggregating and collecting that information to make this list for you guys. So guys, thank you, and as always, take care, guys.